This is a big deal, and so that's why you're hearing, oh yeah, we'll invest $500 billion here and all that. They're going to move these pharmaceutical manufacturing facilities to the U.S. because this is their market.
Here's Kevin O'Leary, one of my favorites, talking about how the Germans and the French, they're kind of pissed now because they're going to get the short end of the stick, but you know what? They're going to do it, suck it up, and as I just said, say, thank you, sir, may I have another?
For them. Already the French and the German are whining this morning about this deal, or this potential deal. But the only reason they care is pharmaceuticals and automotive. We are so huge to them in those sectors, so huge, so massive, so important that they have to come to the table. And you know, this is a big deal, and so that's why you're hearing, oh yeah, we'll invest $500 billion here and all that. They're going to move these pharmaceutical manufacturing facilities to the U.S. because this is their market. And so Trump's getting that win, but I don't think we're done yet. I mean, the EU is such, it's the biggest deal there is.
You're making the case that the headwinds will come from the other EU partners against this deal?
I'm saying the headwinds are in the details. You know, already they want protections against things like automotive in their direction. Oh, we don't have so many cars. Nobody's buying a Ford 150 truck in Switzerland or, you know, in France. You can't fit them on the street, let alone your driveway. So,
but isn't this the problem with the EU, fundamentally? Is that a handful of people make decisions in Brussels that affect all the country?
Well, yes, you're right about that, Bill Hemmer, and I think most Europeans are realizing that they should not have signed on board the giant EU project because you basically outsource control of your country to bureaucrats in Brussels. And of course, that's what Brexit was all about. And I think most European countries, in retrospect, if they could go back and had maintained more sovereignty over their countries and particularly their borders, I mean, that is largely what led to their open border project. As you know, Hungary, which is part of the EU, they pay 1 million euros tax every single day, 365 million euros a year to keep their borders closed. That's what they have to pay in a penalty to control their own borders just to be part of the EU because they want to be part of the broader trade deal. So they don't want to not be in the EU. But that just shows you the crazed competing interests of how ridiculous the EU, the whole EU concept was in the first place. But basically what Mr. Wonderful just laid out there was, yeah, the Germans and French, there was no choice. They were going to take this deal, and the deal is really good for the US. And when we start moving some of those manufacturing plants, particularly the pharmaceutical ones, we're building plenty of cars here. But when we move pharmaceutical plants here too because of these deals and the investment that's going to come here, it's going to be even better for us. And we're going to find out more over time as to what happens there.